Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Darya Lisserman. Today I am talking to you about South Loop. A little bit about myself. I'm a local Chicago resident. I'm also a realtor. I've been selling in Chicago and the neighboring suburbs for a little under 20 years. And I want to talk to you about South Loop because it's one of my favorite neighborhoods here in Chicago. I don't personally live there, but I have sold quite a few places there, and I will tell you why I love the area so much. South Loop has pretty good schooling, which is great, amazing green areas, and one of the other things that South Loop has, it has the beach, which is really great, and museum campus. Museum campus is pretty much most of our museums here in Chicago. If you live in the South Loop, you live very close to a bunch of our museums, like the planetarium, the aquarium, the field museum. You don't live too far from the art museum because South Loop is very close to our downtown area. You do not need to have a car in the South Loop, although there is a pretty good train line, and there's also access to the highway if you need to go pretty much anywhere. One other thing that South Loop has is a bunch of high-rises and mid-rises. The mid-rises in South Loop are usually lofts. They're basically old manufacturing places that were converted into housing. They're very cool inside. There's also a bunch of new high-rises that were built probably within the last 10 to 20 years. So you can have absolutely gorgeous views in the South Loop. You can have views of all of the Chicago skyline, or you can have views of the lake because there is a very cute beach there. There is also a huge stadium where if you're a huge fan of soccer, there's a new stadium for our Chicago Fire team, and there's also the Bears Stadium. Yeah, my husband's here trying to tell me, he's reminding me there's also the Bears Stadium, and there's also a fantastic venue for music in the South Loop called our Convention Center, right? Convention Center? Yeah. So, McCormick Place, sorry. McCormick Place. So there's a bunch of really fun things to do here in the South Loop, but I have to say that something to be cautious of is because there's so many of these wonderful venues, like the Bears playing, which is our football team, the soccer venue, and the venue for music. You should know that on certain days, parking can be very difficult in the South Loop, so definitely be mindful of that. Parking is an option. You can definitely purchase a parking spot if you want to, but when you have friends and family coming, you should definitely take a look at the schedule to see if parking will be possible for them. Also, South Loop is home to our Columbia University, so there's a lot of students that live around there. South Loop is well known for their schooling. The elementary school is pretty good. There's also a very nice high school that you have to place into. It's called Jones Prep. There's good busing. I know we talked about the trains and the highway, but there's also very good busing. Or you could just walk to work because it is really very close to the loop. One thing I will say is about the beach. You can 100% swim at the beach. Our Chicago beaches are definitely swimmable. The water is clean. And when you go to the South Loop Beach, if you walk just a little bit down on museum campus, you can also take the most majestic pictures of the full Chicago skyline. Chicago skyline is absolutely beautiful on the south end of the loop, which is very close to the South Loop. The other thing that South Loop is very close to is basically Grant Park. A lot of people that live on the South Loop, like kind of north on South Loop, which is, sorry, that sounds confusing, but South Loop that's the closest to the loop, go and visit Grant Park pretty often. Sorry, that's my little one. Go and visit the Grant Park pretty often. And there's really a lot of things to do at Grant Park. There's different venues, different festivals. There's a skate park if you like skateboarding. There is fantastic bike paths on Grant Park and the beach and on museum campus, and running paths. There is a very, very easy walk to our Millennium Park. So if you walk through Grant Park, you will reach the Chicago Millennium Park, which is absolutely stunning and definitely a place where you definitely want to visit when you come to Chicago. It is beautiful. It's got a bunch of different sculptures. It's got a huge concert venue. It's got gorgeous fountains, beautiful vegetation. It's one of our prime parks here in Chicago. It also has many different playgrounds. So one thing I will say about South Loop is that it's a very beautiful and green area full of high-rises. It is a fantastic place to live. It is not a cheap place to live, so housing is expensive. But if you're trying to live somewhere that's very close to the loop, it's probably, which is our downtown area, it's probably no more than a mile or two. So it's very, very, very close, and it's very much an urban lifestyle. Restaurants are really nice in the South Loop, and then you also can definitely easily walk to the downtown restaurants also, but restaurants are great in the South Loop. There's a few boutiques in the South Loop, but most of the shopping is basically, like clothes shopping, is basically in our Loop area. South Loop feels pretty residential and very neighborhoody, but very urban also. Well, thank you so much for tuning into my channel and learning all about South Loop. Hope you subscribe.